Good afternoon, everyone. As I said earlier, I would go ahead and do a reading, as I am. And I'm in a library, but I'm in a part where I can talk, so we're all good, okay? I hope everyone's doing well. And before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and get something to drink because I don't want my voice to go out. How's everyone doing today? I hope well. Let's go ahead and get this started. So this way, at the end, you'll have a really good idea of what Flashback can offer. Put some eyes on, huh? Okay. This is the beginning. Okay. Lights flashed, brilliant and binding, fading and swirling, like glowing dust motes on a soft summer breeze. Spencer held a hand up to her eyes, squinting as she tried to see beyond the glow. As the light dissipated, an image of a woman stood before her, still bathed in moonlight. She seemed so real, so touchable. Spencer knew she was dreaming, the same dream that had haunted her sleep many times over the past 5 years. The luminous, blackish blue eyes stared at her, capturing every glint of starlight from above. Spencer lowered her trembling hand. The face that owned those eyes was coppery, like the cliffs at sunrise, cheekbones high, lips full, and slightly curved. There was something sad, yet happy in her look. A jewel cap adorned her head, and her clothing glowed the same luminous white as her headdress. A silver pictorial embezzled on her a crescent moon laid upon her chest. Bearing the same symbol was her earrings. With both hands she held a strange, ordnate staff in front of her, holding it low, while her fingernails dug into the back of soft, freckled skin as if seeking strength from it. The two women stared at each other across the clearing, neither saying anything. The woman's eyes in Spencer's dream stayed focused on her for the longest time. Eventually, her gaze wandered down slightly, then back up again to take Spencer in. Spencer's own gaze finally lowered. She could sense the woman's hesitation as slender fingers grasped the staff lightly, showing her white knuckles. The woman said nothing to her, though Spencer knew what she was thinking. She could hear the thoughts calling in her mind. Anytime you wish to kiss me, Yira, you can. Tell me your name, Spencer cried out, wanting to know. No, needing to know. You know my name, Yira. Dig deep in your memory. I am there. I've always been there. The familiar yet strange woman's voice was calming, never wavering, as it filled the space between them. Spencer licked her lips dry. Well, that wasn't right. Spencer licked her dry lips. The desire to flee overwhelmed her, yet she took a step forward, then froze and blinked in surprise when her dream woman closed the distance between them. Remember, Yira, the woman soothed, clinging to the silver staff, her gaze wandering lower, the tips of her tongue moistening her lips. Spencer felt suspended in an emotional time warp. She instantly felt filled with love that had never felt in this lifetime. Even though she was apprehensive, she still stepped forward. A slight chill ran down her arm as the woman held her head high and strode around her with the posture befitting a goddess, stopping several inches away. They stared at each other, their eyes connecting at the same height, even though Spencer had the edge of being taller. She said nothing, but she could still hear the woman's thoughts telling her to never leave her again. There was a history between them, a passion beyond her memory, beyond her reach. I didn't scare her. In fact, quite the opposite. A drive to get to the bottom burned in her veins. Wrinkling her brow, Spencer searched the eyes for answers. For as long as I can remember, you've been a part of me. Who are you? There was a long pause before answering. I am Anai, Yera. I am your past, your heart, and it's time for you to bring me into the present. Anai reached out a hand, her nails glistening in the light. Spencer held her breath with delicate fingers when delicate fingers lightly touched her face. The feel of Anai's touch when she stroked her cheeks was both cool and warm, the same as the caressing light she felt moments before. She glanced up from the corner of her eyes as Anai sat for several moments, as if trying to determine if she could actually be real. This is just a dream, not real. My name is Spencer. I'm not this woman you keep referring to. Anai tilted her head, her dark, luminous eyes blinking at Spencer with mild confusion, as if asking why she was denying her. Anai touched Spencer's cheek again, her fingers remaining this time. The warmth of her hand felt so good, so familiar, and it confused Spencer. How can this be just a dream? My heart knows her. One way to find out, she mused. It's time to get real. Spencer leaned forward, shut her eyes, and for the first time since the dream started, she pressed their mouths firmly together. Even though her heart raced, she wasn't afraid. The breath that mingled with her own felt like home. Everything Spencer had previously worried about melted away as Anai's hands took her and kissed her back. Spencer's heart soared as if the moonlight had lifted her up, giving her feet wings. Suddenly, the embrace ended, and like a movie shifting scenes, two young girls appeared before her, playing, laughing, and running. It was the same two girls from her childhood dream. It was starting to make sense. The two girls were her and I in their youth. The two women held hands while watching the two smiling girls play. We were young and innocent then, my queen, Anai said. Why did you call me that? She could see lips moving suddenly, but she couldn't hear her. All she heard was a loud blaring noise that filled her ears, pulling her back. She fought to hold on, extending her hand to reach out for Anai. But she drifted from her grasp and faded back into the light. No, don't go, Spencer cried out. She had never got this far into her dream before, and she had so many questions. Crying and unable to breathe, Spencer coughed as she sat forward, her eyes still closed. When I count to 3, you will open your eyes and remember everything. That was all I'm going to read from Chapter 1, Flashback. I hope you enjoyed it. Who's all joining me today? Say hi. I see Pamela. I see Sonia. And I see lots of little bubbles going across. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and I'm sorry for all those that couldn't make it to either Women's Week or to GCLS in Chicago this past summer. However, GCLS will be available again and up and going, and meet all your favorite authors and go to readings and so forth. And that will be held July 4th through the 8th in Las Vegas. How exciting, right? See you all then. Bye.